Shabbat Shalom. One thing about this election is that since Tuesday night, everybody has been glued to the televisions, to the newspapers, or to the online reading and see who is going to win this election. This waiting made me think, what does the wait teach us? Just the waiting game itself, this nerve-wracking wait to see who is going to win. Made me think, this week's Torah portion actually starts off telling us about waiting. It tells us how Abraham, the end of last week's Torah portion, is told by God to circumcise himself at the age of 99 years old. And God waits 3 days before he comes to visit him. And the question is, why did God wait to visit him? If he's here to take away the pain of Abraham, to help him heal quicker, why did God wait 3 whole days before he checks in on him to see how is he doing and help him heal quicker? As we know that the reason why he brought these angels to come visit Abraham, one of them was there to help heal him. The other one was to tell Sarah about the future birth of her son, Isaac. And the third one was to go and destroy the city of Sodom and Gomorrah and so on and so forth. The question is, why didn't these angels come to visit earlier? The famous story, God comes to visit him himself and so on and so forth. What's the point of the wait? The answer is like this. Patience, waiting, teaches us very, very important lessons. For an example, when a parent is trying to teach a child how to drive a bicycle, one of the important things is when a kid starts falling off the bicycle, what's the parent supposed to do? Is to step back and let the child ride. If you're going to keep on helping the child out and not let them fall, what's going to happen? The kid will never learn how to ride that bicycle. We need to have patience sometimes and allow time to do its thing. Sometimes when we rush, we don't allow the healing process to happen. If God would have came to visit Abraham, then Abraham would have not been able to take in the lesson of what circumcision was supposed to be teaching Abraham. He would have not had the whole experience. And I think the same thing also is for us today. This election, whoever the winner is, it doesn't make a difference. I think the process actually was good for us to be able to wait a little bit, for us to understand the hoo-ha that surrounded the pre-election days, all the media and all the tension and all the, campaigning that went on. And then there's a quiet, the wait to see what actually happens. What's the result of this? And letting us think what this teaches us. And I think this is just a general lesson that we had throughout the last 8 months. Hopefully not too many people lost jobs that we know of. But even those who did, or younger people having a harder time finding jobs, this time period makes us think a little bit, what's God all about? What's circumcision all about? What's it mean to say that we're part of the covenant of Abraham or part of the Jewish people? This waiting time, and you start thinking, who did I vote for? Why did I vote for this person? Is my candidate going to win or lose? All these kind of questions, we start thinking, what does life really mean to us? And I think this is what Abraham teaches us in this week's Torah portion, and what God tried to teach Abraham, what God teaches us all the time. Having patience is a virtue. It teaches us very, very important stuff, a very, very important lesson. I think this is a lesson that we could take from today's Torah portion. Shabbat Shalom, and we should all have a great week.